have you guys been able to stay so positive?
My hand was being squeezed under the table so hard by Alex.
And divorce-proof it. I talked to our infertility doctor.
Get me
Get
out.
me out.
And there is zero strength in a man that cannot handle the emotions of a woman. Yeah.
And the holidays, it's a triggering time for a lot of people.
And why is that? And then, this is key. This is key.
Hi friends! I think I really just first wanted to get on here and say thank you. We very much know that you could be spending your time doing many things, and to spend it with us, we're just so thankful. If we look back over our 8 years of sharing, I think the big reason why you guys are here and a part of this community is that you so desperately, just like us, want to be positive no matter what life throws at you.
There's a difference in happiness and joy, right? Happiness is temporary. Joy is an eternal emotion that just comes up without you. That's just constant. How do we do this whole thing together with a smile on our face?
We really want to thank our sponsor for today's video, Kiwi Co. If you have been with us for any length of time, know how much we are obsessed with this company. And even more that we are obsessed, our children are. If you haven't seen us posting about Kiwi Co for the last 4 or 5 years. Kiwi Co is a subscription box that you can get every month, where there are crates from newborn all the way up to being 104, any age group. And I want to encourage you this holiday, it's actually been my favorite for birthdays.
Yeah.
But now that it's the holidays, it's also been my go-to for years to utilize Kiwi Co as gifts. It's like my one-stop shop. I feel like I go there, I am done. I get either subscriptions, or what I've been really liking, I can just get a box. So if you're not ready to subscribe and get a subscription to them, I really wanted to do it because I thought it was so cute. I really like everything that's made of wood and craft and like hands-on, and they got to do an advent calendar that wasn't just chocolate, it was building, and they are working their way through it, and they're gonna have a Christmas village by Christmas Eve. So I'm really excited about that. So if you guys haven't heard me explain about them in the past, they are how we get our kids' STEAM activities in, our science, technology, engineering, art, math, and the kids literally are so obsessed. This month our box was sitting for a week, and literally multiple times a day they were begging for me to open it and to start. So I know your family, your kids, or nieces and nephews, or anybody that you need to buy a gift for, I promise you that you guys will love it as much as we do. And so if you want to also get a discount with them, we do have one. Since we've been working with them for so long, they have for our community 50% off your first month using Phil and Alex 50. Go ahead and check out the link in the description below and go check out all the options that you have and get your Christmas shopping done.
But without further ado, let's talk, Alex, about how do you find hope in the midst of holidays?
I have a couple of hard holidays that I'm remembering, but this is us in a nutshell, that maybe I'll remember some of the hard things of infertility, but you have such a gift of like bringing out like the hope or like the positive that you saw back then, or...
Yeah, so I mean, I think that something that comes to mind, Alex, is just understanding that in the midst of wanting something so deeply, the reality of other people having what you want in front of you, showing up to the holidays and your stomach just sinks, because at the table, what they want to share of what they're thankful for, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas, is that, oopsie, they're pregnant.
But I'm just curious how many people here are holding their breath going into the holidays thinking, oh my gosh, please, if there is a pregnancy announcement, like, please either come to me first. I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, and then there were times that I would intercept these conversations in order to sideline them and sort of protect Alex. As her husband, I feel like one of my favorite roles that I get to play is to be your protector. And to make sure that if I can get ahead of something that might destroy you emotionally on a day or a season that you're already anticipating pain, it can be hard. And I think like we see the holidays in such a beautiful fashion. I mean, I feel like for us, Christmas is about the birth of the Savior. For Christmas, it's about like the joy that's coming.
Try not to make it all about the gifts.
Yeah, the joy of Christmas for us is that we have a new hope that has caused us to also have an eternal perspective in the midst of suffering.
Yeah.
And
I would say that's the only way that we were able to get through. People ask all the time, like, how have you guys been able to stay so positive? I watch your videos. I see you are positive when I would be a puddle on the floor.
Yeah.
Without an eternal perspective, I genuinely don't know how we would have gotten through that journey, or we could have been very much one of the statistics of 70% of marriages that go through infertility have a divorce.
Yeah.
And it is our passion deep down of wanting to take our community here and divorce proof it. So you kind of talked about being the husband that wants to be the protector, like our dog here who wants to be the protector. Can you encourage the husbands, or maybe the wives watching here, that want to pause and go get their husbands and say, can you just watch this one section of this video? Can you encourage them on being the protector during the holiday season when your wife might be feeling a lot of feels?
Yeah.
Our story very much does talk infertility, but maybe you just had a loss of some other kind. Your job situation is rocky and someone is now coming to the holidays bragging about their new boat.
I think there will always be someone in your immediate circle that has what you want. You have to work really hard to not covet, which means to not just think about or want what they want. That becomes your train of thought. That becomes your motivation. And then that motivation of something as simple as, man, I wish I had their job, or I wish I had their car, I wish I had their house, I wish I had their land, I wish I had their health, I wish I had all those things. That moment that it becomes, if I don't have that, I can't be happy.
I'll be happy when
it becomes envy, when it turns into strife, when it turns into jealousy, when it turns into your mind cannot shut that desire off. I think that's the window that we must be able to be in constant conversation. For instance, let's say someone does come and they say, I'm pregnant.
literally even you just like pretending to say that, like my stomach just dropped just a little bit and got a little sick to my stomach.
So you asked for stories.
I know.
I can't tell you how many times at the table during the holidays, my hand went numb. What do you mean? My hand was being squeezed under the table so hard by Alex that I couldn't feel my hands anymore. When someone whom we love and was at a table with us during the holiday, we were at a conversation in the holidays, and they unveiled that they were expecting. I felt Alex's stomach drop. You have to understand, when someone shares in that moment, hey, we're expecting and we didn't mean to, or we're expecting and we're so excited, and they might even do it respectfully. They might even do it and they've maybe told you beforehand, hey, I'm about to make this announcement and I wanted to come to you first. How respectful and kind
so kind and considerate. But what's coming to my mind right now, for us, that is that moment that I am dreading the most. That is that person's announcement that they have been dreaming about sharing the most. And so during those moments, and there's been a lot, not just in the holidays all the time, but my mouth opens just a little bit and I breathe. So you try not to show that you are about to cry. Like you are trying so hard to not make your feelings affect their celebration. But as the couple,
for you as husbands, you have to squeeze their hand back and look at them and say, it's going to be okay. We can't change this. We can't control this. You got this. I've seen Alex use her gift of strength to the betterment of others and not make that moment about her pain.
I always think I am past it.
And I think there'll be a time where you're 80 years old and you still get that pit in your stomach where you go, oh, I remember that.
I don't want infertility to hurt anymore. I'm imagining whatever your pain is, you don't want that pain to hurt anymore. And unfortunately, pain isn't something that you get over. You get through it.
On the side of being the protector is, I want her to continue to grow in strength. I want her to know that she is secure in my arms. No matter what comes our way, I will defend her. And defending her in the holidays may be a side conversation with someone saying, hey, I'm not sure if you know this, but this is our situation. There's discernment here that is needed that I cannot tell you because I don't know your specific situations.
So I don't know why this just came to mind, but maybe it's just for one couple for this holiday. No matter how much you think that you are private in a private conversation and the spouse goes, I know, she's just sensitive right now, and isn't that protector and is more trying to kind of buddy up to that family member or that friend. And as a spouse, if I accidentally walk by that hallway and I hear that conversation, that is so destructive to the max. And let me say, for example, the opposite. I can't tell you how many times throughout our marriage I have walked by and I have heard my husband talking to one of his family members of trying to say, no, she's been doing great. Maybe they'll say, is Alex even supporting you in this? And he'll go out of his way to say, no, she is very supportive. That is so much protecting in a marriage. I don't know if I'm giving the best example, but you know what I'm trying to say?
I think you're right. If I could jump in here and just say, this is not just a holiday thing. This is not just an infertility thing. The point that you're making is a marriage thing.
Yeah.
You want the words to be honey coming out of your mouth when it comes to your spouse. Honey brings this sweetness. It's the result of hard work. Even if you're in a fight, even when you're upset with one another, when you respond with, she is sweet, she is kind, she's amazing, I'm so proud of her. I always want my wife to hear a conversation that speaks life, and she gets to overhear a third person talking about how wonderful she is. It is wonderful to hear face to face, hey, I love you, I'm so proud of you, encouragement. You know what means more is hearing an encouragement that your spouse is saying to their friends, to your friends about you. Right. It's exponentially greater. Right. Even if things aren't perfect, I always want her to know I will defend her. I will support her. I will go to battle in behalf and stand in front of a train, stand in front of a bullet to take it for our family, for her. Men, this is for you. I will tell you, it may not be that night. It may not be that moment. It may not be in the coming days. But I promise you, what follows the defending and the provision of your wife's heart being secure is intimacy. Even if intimacy is hard in that very moment, there is nothing that will bind you, men, closer to your wives, bring more intimacy than defending her publicly, praising her publicly, and you going to bat for her, affirming her character, because she will know that you're a safe place. And if you're a safe place, what do we do to safe places? We get closest to the things that are safe. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run in and are safe. They are saved. When we go to a place of strength in the midst of our own weakness, we feel safe. When we feel safe, we want to be close. When we are close, that is where we find intimacy. And the intimacy that you will find, and I will just say this, some of the most intimate moments of our entire marriage have been in the midst of our deepest, darkest pain. When you lavish her with kindness and affirmation, strength, honor, dignity, protection, emotionally, physically, man, she will run to you for intimacy.
But we can also describe it, everything that you just said is
I'm not
also,
just talking about the physical intimacy.
No, totally.
Okay.
And it's emotional intimacy, all of that. But I can also take out that word intimacy and say foundation. That our foundation in our marriage is built stronger. And I know we're going back to infertility. So those of you that don't struggle with infertility, I love you that you guys are here to either love on others that are going through infertility, just understand, or be creative enough to understand that this can be switched to whatever grief that maybe you are going through or others around you are going through. For me, that foundation had to be solid. And for you, it needs to be solid. That marriage needs to be solid, because adding that child in, I talked to our infertility doctor, and she said that statistic of 70% divorce rate through infertility happens whether or not that child is the outcome.
That's right.
That it's her desire almost as much as it is ours, that she wants those marriages to stay together. She's like, I don't want to be bringing in these children into the world. And then the marriage just falls apart because it was so rocky for so long. And she described it where, you kind of started turning away, and maybe the wife started turning towards her friends instead of that protector, that rock, that foundation, that intimacy where you guys are doing it together. And the holidays, it's a triggering time for a lot of people.
And why is that though? Why is it that the end of the year, the holidays, the gatherings, the parties, why is it that that's the hardest emotionally when you're in the midst of pain?
You tell me.
It's because it reminds you of everything you didn't get that year.
Sure.
It reminds you of everything that you fought for but didn't win. It reminds you of everything that you still have left unchecked. And it reminds you of that your future is still unknown. And there's an insecurity that comes when you're not secure. There's an insecurity that comes when your feet are not planted on a solid foundation. There's an insecurity that comes when you don't know who you are, whose you are, and how you're going to get to the future. And so that is why when we speak about divorce, oh my goodness gracious, I could talk about that for forever. I feel like I could proudly proclaim this. I think we have the best marriage of anyone I know our age.
And I know people out there are being like, no, because my marriage is, your marriage is awesome. Proclaim it.
I want you to believe that, and I want you to own that. And if you're not there and you want to get there, I want you to get there. We want to help you get there.
Yes.
I am just telling you publicly, I think our marriage is the best. I think our marriage is strong. I think our marriage...
But we've worked hard for it.
Thank you.
It's not just something of like, well, you guys just happened to find the right person.
No,
we worked our booties
There were
off.
so many things about our relationship where we were so incompatible.
Sure.
And we worked so hard on that. And when you fight for your spouse, when you fight for their heart, when you fight for their emotions, men, I'm going to speak to you yet again. And I really need you to hear me on this. Men oftentimes put the facade on that they are a man or that they want to be a man. But nothing is less manly than a man who will run from the emotions of a woman. If you cannot handle the emotions of a woman, you will call her nagging. She is crying. She is pleading. She needs what her father used to give her, or what she needed from a father who wasn't there. Your role as a husband is to be that warrior for her. And I'm sick and tired of men saying, I want to be a warrior. I want to be a man. I want to be a strong man. I am a strong man. And yet you can't take the complaints of a woman. That's unacceptable.
I know some of the stuff that you write, and I really want them to hear your Proverbs 31 on the man's side.
Yeah.
But that's more content for another time.
I want you to know that if you want to be a strong man, learn to defend a woman. You want to be a strong man, learn to defend the fatherless. You want to be a strong man, step up when it feels uncomfortable. Forget what your friends say. Forget what your coworkers say.
Forget
they
what culture says.
Don't matter. Their voice in your head, their likes on your page, their comments, it doesn't matter. This woman's heart that you're connected to matters more than getting to laugh with your buddies. When you make fun of your spouse, when you joke about your spouse being incomplete, being not good enough, her bad cooking, her silly slippers, whatever it may be, when you pour salt on her wounds instead of honey from your mouth, that's not manly. That's not being a man. And so I will say it again. If you want to be a man, you want to be a warrior, and we should want to be a warrior. I say this often. I want the men in my community to be velvet-covered bricks. I want you to be soft on the outside. I want you to be something that someone wants to come and snuggle up to, that they feel safe with you. But I want you on the inside to be a warrior. I want you to be a brick. I want you to be strong. And there is zero strength in a man that cannot handle the emotions of a woman.
I don't know how we got off this topic. We are like talking marriage instead of the holidays. This is also beautiful. I love it.
It all comes together. Now,
I love it.
I know many of you may disagree with me. I will tell you right now what I believe marriage is and what culture believes marriage is very different. But I will tell you that true strength comes from a man who is patient and is kind. True strength comes from a man who protects and defends instead of makes fun of.
Mm-hmm. Everything that Philip is saying, if ladies, gossip is a downfall of your marriage.
Yeah.
If you are putting your spouse down, I don't care what circle you are in, either a Christian circle or not, women have a tendency of making fun of their husbands, and it is not glorifying. It doesn't make you look beautiful.
Yeah.
It actually makes your heart look very ugly. And that's not what you're going for. And a couple little giggles,
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. We really could talk about marriage forever. And I have so many stories
But
that are
this
just
is,
so cringy.
Sign up for our newsletter because we will be addressing marriage, families, and all the things that we really want to talk about. But it takes a long time. So we will be writing these out, putting them on the blog. And we will be really diving into that this year. We are going to be divorce-proofing our community. We're going to have a strong families that are strong arrows. And we are going to have a community that's on fire. I love that you guys were on board with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you missed that video, that was a handful of videos back.
In the context of this conversation only, and let me just preface, these videos do not, and they're not supposed to cover all angles. And so you may have many questions, and I encourage you in the comments below, ask those questions. What questions do you guys want to hear about the holidays? Learning how to process the emotional stuff. I've actually thought about opening up myself as doing like online counseling with you guys. If you guys are interested in that, let me know.
Mail us directly.
I will just throw this out there right now. Discuss all the hard things before you walk in that door at a party. I'll give one of the things away that we're going to talk about later. You set a safe word when you walk in that door.
Either a safe gesture or a safe word.
And if I do this, that means I emotionally cannot handle what else is going on.
1, 2, 3, which means I love you, but it really means
get me out.
Get me out.
Develop and have conversations before you go to these parties. And you guys, to be honest, a healthy marriage is constantly doing this.
Right.
And if you're not in that space right now, we want to give you these reminders because it's critical that you have your spouse's back and that you're able to read their nonverbal.
I want to acknowledge, for me and for all of us, I really think that we can all agree that the empty arms phase is the hardest season of infertility. However, when you have secondary infertility and you already have a child at home and you are not allowed to be upset, or you have a large family and you have had a miscarriage, you are not allowed to be upset. Or you have anything and you are not allowed to be upset. That is not true. Do not let culture tell you that. Your grief, what you feel, that matters, and who cares what the rest of them say? That grief is still going strong here. So even though we have a family already, and we did that code word a couple of years ago, it's right back because you're at that same place again. I am at this place again of how are we going to grow our family? It feels impossible right now. I need this code word back because maybe I am in a season again where it is starting to hurt. And so just the code word is one of our favorite things, but that is a tip that I want you to have for this video.
What do the holidays bring out in you?
I am not very emotional. So actually most of the time I'm fine. I'm actually not bothered, but then it's those triggers where I'm not expecting to be upset and all of a sudden a trigger happens and it catches you off guard. So those to me are difficult, where I'm fine, and then I see someone's Christmas card that came in the mail that has the little onesie baby announcement, and I'm like, ugh, wasn't expecting to feel sad at this moment, but it did.
Yeah.
It was triggering.
And one thing I learned early on is it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay today.
I've said a lot, but if you've missed me ever saying this, I give permission where if you need to go through a season where you do not go to baby showers, that's fine. It's healthy, sometimes it's needed, but don't stay there. The same in the holidays. If there is a season where it is triggering, where you can only show up for a little bit of dinner and then you have to leave, that's okay. It is okay. Don't let culture and family and everybody tell you it's not okay with what you need to do for your heart, but try and work on it, that you don't stay there.
And then this is critical, you guys. This is critical. Say, do you have to leave right now?
Yeah.
Do you feel like leaving right now is giving up, or I'm tapping out and this is actually it?
He would push me in a good way. That is the protector.
Not
still.
a physical push.
That the strength of trying to encourage, can you handle? Can we try 30 more minutes?
Yes.
Can we try to switch to games and turn that conversation? Can you handle another?
You're dead on. Gordon Ramsay has a cooking show, and there's this one meme that goes around, and he's got these, like, his hands are over her head, and he's basically calling her a sandwich, like a sandwich. And you don't really get memes. I do. I'm meme funny. I will put my hands on her face, and can I do this?
Yeah.
Okay. I love you.
I love you.
You're stronger than this. You running away right now is actually not making you stronger. Can I hold your hand? Can we do this? And I'm getting close, or I'm getting into a place where your level of comfort with touch is very different probably than ours. I believe that you can get through this. Do you think you can do this?
Yeah.
I really genuinely believe you're strong enough for this. So I'm speaking life. I'm speaking a futuristic strength into her. I'm infusing courage into her heart right now, saying, I know you're better than this. I know you can do this. And me saying, I know you're better than this, that is not a diss. I am not making fun of her.
No, but we will go home we will get into our
We're going to
PJs
go
after.
home. When we go home, a pint of ice cream, a pecan pie.
Absolutely.
Because you're a warrior and you're strong and you're stronger than this.
Yeah.
And this is you running away, and we're not going to run away. And I love you. And then this is key. This is key. So key. I'm going to give you the final say.
Yeah.
Because right now, my heart is not hurt. Her heart is hurt. And I give her the final say. I believe the decision I would make for us right now is that we would stay.
And then
but I am going to submit. And I am going to let you make that decision, because this is your heart, and her heart matters to me.
And then my response is, I will try, but the moment that I feel like I am going to lose it again and I'm going to start crying again, I need us to be able to
go on another
1, 2,
walk,
3, and say,
or just leave.
Yeah.
If you do it like a velvet covered brick, I'm approachable, I'm soft, I'm kind, I'm sweet, I'm tender to her heart, but I'm also strong, and I'm telling you right now, I know you can do this.
Yeah.
I know you can do this. Learn this communication, learn these patterns, learn the caring for your spouse, learn how to communicate preemptively before these events together, learn to build safe words, be her protector, don't make fun of her, defend her. All of these things, you guys, at the dinner table, at the holidays, leading up to parties, or at the party, this is what will build intimacy in your marriage. Intimacy, by definition, the way that I see it, intimacy, let's break the word down. Into me, you see. Intimacy is allowing someone into you and seeing the true version of themselves. Intimacy is getting to the core of all the hurts, all the problems, all the despair, all the anger, all the aggression. And a true man will meet you in those moments with kindness and gentleness and respect. And here is a caveat and a warning. If you are not married and you're dating, you ladies are dating a man that cannot do this, he might not be the right man for you. And I'm telling you this as a friend. If a man feels that being a man is making fun of you and laughing at you and not knowing how to balance your emotions and lead you in to a place of safety, he may not be the right man for your future. If you're married to a man like that, seek counseling immediately. If you're in a situation where you are being the opposite of protected, seek counseling immediately. It is okay to be a mess right now, because where you are right now is not a dictation of your future. There is hope in the holidays. If you feel safe, comment down below a prayer request. If you feel safe, comment down below where you are in all of this. If you have other suggestions or ideas of what to do in this conversation, leave it in the comments. Help, you guys. We are a community of people. We are broken. We are imperfect. We are flawed individuals. We are in desperate need every single day of a Savior, of grace, of mercy, of love, and in joy. And I believe as a community, as a fellowship of friends, we can do this together. It is not an easy season to go through the holidays in waiting and in wanting, in pain, in crisis, in turmoil. The holidays brings about more loneliness and more fighting than any other time in the year. And it is because it is a reflection of what we do not have. There will be people around you that are putting on a facade. They will look at these parties like they've got it all together. And then they will go home and they will do not nice things to each other. And I encourage you, do not do that. You're better than that. And I strongly advise you guys, begin a healing one step at a time, maybe one of these examples at a time. Bring your spouse, rewatch this video, write some of these things down, journal it, pray about it, look at scripture. I highly suggest that you just take and heed wonderful counsel. You know who God is? One of the best names at Christmas. He is our wonderful counselor. He's an everlasting Father. He's the Prince of Peace. His name is Emmanuel, which means God is with us. This holiday season, whether you're a Christian or not, like, these are the names of the creator of the world. Jesus came in the flesh to show us what it looks like to live a life of peace. And you deserve peace in your marriage. You deserve safety in your marriage. You deserve this security, and you deserve an intimacy that is safe. And if you don't have that, I beg you to work towards that, because it is very possible. We both come from very different pasts. And where we are today is because we've worked so hard at our marriage.
Well, you guys, I am very, very, very impressed with any of you who have stuck with us all the way through this video. So if you have, leave an emoji in the comments, anything that reminds you of the holidays. It can be anything.
Christmas tree, stockings, oranges, candy canes.
Don't give examples.
Reindeers.
You have to come up.
Fire.
You have to come up with it on your own, and then share something of what the holidays mean to you guys. And we will see you guys in our next video. And on our newsletter. So go ahead and sign up for that email down in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Go let your love
multiply.
Bye, guys.